At Singapore Maritime Week, we are addressing critical challenges. A shortage of young people entering seafaring, limited connectivity between fleets and shore, and increasing operational costs impacting the industry. Smart Ship Hub, established in 2018, offers a digital platform to connect ships and teams effectively. I'm pleased to speak with Joy Basu, CEO of Smart Ship Hub, joining us from the Singapore Maritime Week. Thank you for being here, Joy.
Thank you for having me over here.
With your background in technology, what opportunity inspired you to create Smart Ship Hub?
So, getting into maritime was a matter of pride for us when we realized that it's a complete blue ocean with regards to technology penetration, which was not existing. Maritime as a sector was family driven always. The larger the families, they were having fleet sizes, and as a result of the trade dynamics, they never realized that including technology would be so important. As a result, we see fleets around the world which are still not digitally connected. There is very little data that is used for intelligence. There are very little intelligence as such that is being used for the internal processes, and you will see a lot of Excel sheets, you will see ERPs, you will see legacy reports still being continued. So that was the sweet spot for us, because we kind of understand very well how to make data speak, how to create intelligence out of the various processes, how to ensure that maritime as a sector is abreast with technology like many other sectors around the world, which have made serious progress with the help of digital tech. With that as a background, we wanted to be at the forefront of data, and getting the data with the sensors, using the legacy data together with the high frequency sensor data, started giving us the kind of insights that maritime industry was not getting before. And in absence of such a data, people were using thumb rule, they were using prevalent business norms, which was not very efficient. And that is one of the reasons we realized that let's work on data, and we are a data company. At the same time, when I say that we are a data company, but we proceed and we also are beyond that data layer. That is one of the reasons that we are an all-in-one experience company, which means we help our customers, which could be the owners, operators, charterers, or marine insurers, or for that matter, the ports. Everybody is looking for rich data, original data, instant data. So right from data tapping to data quality management to processing that data, creating intelligence, and the AI layer, which is very popular. That is exactly what is making a smart ship much more viable solution for our customers. And out of the 65,000 or so merchant vessels, we believe not even 10% of them are smart today. And that offers a huge opportunity, and that's exactly the reason why Smart Ship is into this trend.
What primary issue does Smart Ship Hub aim to resolve for the maritime industry?
Data is so important for us. So one of the key caveats that we work on is uniform source of truth, which means once we have the original live sensor data that comes in together with the existing data that is getting reported, we create a data layer and information layer, which is the version of truth or the source of truth, which otherwise is not existing. In absence of source of truth, a ship technical department or a commercial department or a performance department or the senior managers or the fleet managers, they all have their own versions of data. And that may not be the best way when the organization has multiple sources of data. So that is one solution that we have, is a single source of truth. And the second one is about creating multiple modules out of that, which multiple user sets can benefit from. So whether it is your commercial team, which wants to know the commercial impact that the vessel is bringing on to the entire fleet or to the organization, that's exactly one area we're working on. The vessel performance, on the fuel performance, on the hull performance, the condition of your engines and diesel generators, or the condition of your hull. Each one of those areas have become very critical. And when you start getting all of those on a single platform, That's exactly where SmartShip is adding a huge lot of value. And we want that to be a common platform that is used by the owners, the operators, the charters, and everyone. And thereby, you reduce the need of working on multiple softwares. So there is a single application which works on all of those.
The shortage of young seafarers is a key topic here. How does your platform attract the next generation of seafarers?
That's a very interesting question, Joaquin. And in fact, this particular topic is a conference by itself on 27th March at Sea Asia, where I'm happy to be part of. So, unfortunately, the quality of crew is something, or the availability of capable, competent crew is being felt by all the owners, operators, charters around the world. And being in this profession is not the first choice for many youngsters out there. And why is it so? And when we go deeper and we realize that the IT sector around the world, like places like India, Philippines, Ireland, has offered so many opportunities to youngsters that they always felt, irrespective of their background or the degree, they would be in a technology sector, be able to work in different tools, technologies, and be around the world, which is what all youngsters look for. The moment digitalization came into the vessels, it started offering the similar experience to a lot of youngsters. For example, all the customers that we work with, all the vessels that work on SmartShip, one thing common is the crew gets to work on it. We issue certificates to them of competency. The crew gets to understand how does a digital platform impact ship operations? How does that ship operations impact the shore operations? How does the data analytics, the big data and artificial intelligence is impacting the ship performance? And that is a first-hand experience that the crew gets. Younger the crew, the more curious they are. They want to be part of this project. And hence we have something called DIY, do it yourself. So when we are installing SmartShip as a platform into any vessel, we started requesting the shore office and the master of the vessel that why don't we include your younger members, the ETOs and all of them, so that they get to know how the data tapping happening, how the data collection happening. They are first-hand experiencing that data and signals from different machinery, which was pretty distant to them till about some time back. But now they are themselves connecting the system. They are connecting the gateways. They are seeing data flowing through the gateway, going to the cloud. They are seeing within 24 to 48 hours the trends, the plots, the projections, and the predictions happening. And that, I think, is exciting proposition for them. Companies like Starlink, when they bring in huge bandwidth on board, and companies like SmartShip Hub, when they start bringing in use cases, how to use that bandwidth, that is where the crew is in between. They use the bandwidth, they use this, they are part of these use cases, they know what exactly a vessel performance aspect is, which they need not go back to their seniors all the time because everything is visually in front of them and they can see how data that is collected is getting processed and throwing a whole lot of insights, which otherwise was only limited to very few people. So when the crew and youngsters are exposed to this, we have seen there is a renewed interest in them, that they are not only being a part of the crew in the vessel, but they are adding an additional skill set, working on the technology side, the enablement side, and some kind of progress that they see on their resume. So if not directly impacting, we feel this is in somehow indirectly making life easier for them, and that's why they're much more curious. And I believe this will go a long way for rest of the maritime ecosystem, where the crew and rest of the shore staff together will find this much more interesting.
Rising costs are a concern for many. How does SmartShip Hub help reduce operational expenses?
So, like I mentioned before, data is at the center of everything for us. So whether it is the fluctuating fuel cost or whether it is the spares, which is a significant cost, or the maintenance, monthly planned maintenance in the vessels, there is one of the key component is the predictability part. So once we have the live sensor data, which results into situational awareness, together with our algorithms, we get the intelligence that gives us enough visibility into the process of the consumption, in the process of the carbon footprint, in the process of your monthly plan maintenance, in the process of your machinery condition, and whether a specific machinery or an equipment needs immediate attention, or can it run for, say, another 2,000 running hours, and you can always attend to it maybe after that. There are multiple use cases where we are able to give dollar value realization to every vessel and the shore office that uses us. And this is one of the significant way how digital platforms globally has not only impacted many other industries that we have seen, now it is directly impacting the maritime in terms of fuel utilization, in terms of how smart the voyage can be based on the weather routing, which is what we get into. And if it can impact maybe 1 metric ton of fuel a day, that's like a tremendous gain that you're making over 25 days of sailing time into 12 months into 50 vessels, suppose you have in your fleet. And similarly, if in your planned maintenance, you're spending, say, $10,000. I'm just taking a random number. These numbers keep changing. But based on condition monitoring, if you are able to find the inherent or a progressive condition beforehand, you're avoiding breakdown. So zero breakdown maintenance is a kind of a goal that a lot of companies are promoting with the help of digital platform. That's like a huge dollar value impact. No breakdowns, no unscheduled breakdowns, no major maintenance requirements because you are doing condition-based maintenance. Each of these put together itself is a tremendous value add. The biggest one that we are also realizing right now is all the classification and regulatory reporting, where we see our customers would be using 4 to 5 resources on shore, only doing that. But the moment you have a live vessel data coming in, data quality management happening, going through the platform and into the verifier, and finally getting the reporting, imagine not a single human being involved in that. That is like 3 to 4 resources multiplied by 4 months of effort. That's a tremendous dollar value you have right at the outset, and your class is happy, your regulatory compliances are done.
We just met at the booth of DNV. This was a little surprise for me, but I think you have some news to share.
Awesome. Yes. So DNV and SmartShip has partnered on the Emissions Connect platform, whereby the customers we are jointly serving, these customers are actually assisted right from their noon reports to filing their consumption to the compliances that a class would like to have, and finally the reporting process. This entire process is automated now, which means customers working on SmartShip now have a possibility that they need not worry about any of this reporting, and it's an automated process. So DNV has 2 customer success stories to share to the world together with SmartShip, and we were just doing that when we met up at the DNV booth.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We would like to offer that to all our other customers as well.
Yes. Looking ahead, how do you plan to expand SmartShip Hub's impact on cost on connectivity?
So when we started off about a couple of years back, and we realized that the connectivity was one of the biggest roadblock for us. We have also worked on 512 kbps, and suddenly today we are working on 100 mbps in some cases. This is a big shift. And this is one of the reasons we are also partnering with connectivity companies. So we have recently partnered with Navarino, and Navarino, being a vessel IT company, is enabling the entire infrastructure, the connectivity, the onboard cybersecurity. SmartShip comes on top of that layer because the IT layer already exists in that vessel. It is so easy for SmartShip then to just mesh into the existing IT infrastructure and leverage the complete infrastructure for various use cases. So that's like a live example we have in front of us, wherein the connectivity resulting into efficiency, resulting into more people using it, and also resulting into people having the entire vessel performance and the vessel management on their mobile phone remotely as well as on board. And that's exactly where SmartShip comes into the play. And we call it all-in-one experience. So the connectivity part is playing a significant role for us. And I must add over here that while we specialized All this while in getting machinery data and timestamp data coming from equipment, we've also added the video component to it, which means now we have a visual input coming from the vessel, from the different parts of the vessel, and that needed bandwidth. So any of our customer wanting a live feed because they just saw an anomaly in the operational thing, they can immediately tune in and actually have a live feed, the machinery data and all those analytics coming right in front of them. That's like an unprecedented experience for the customers. And that's where the connectivity plays a major role.
Joy, please tell me, how else could the data be used by companies in the maritime sector?
Thank you, Akim, for asking this question, because this is like a burning issue, that data or the source of truth, like I said before, data coming from the ships, how else can it impact the entire ecosystem? Let me give you a little brief idea about it. The ports are always looking out for real-time situational awareness of the vessels, their ETA, and what are they doing? Have they been polluting? Have they not been polluting? There's a whole lot of reporting that the ships have to do before they enter the port. The whole process is automated and the ports can benefit in a big way having this data. So that's like a small example. And even before the vessel goes inside the port, what cargo it's carrying, what kind of cargo discharge or loading that it needs to do, it can be connected to the port systems. It can be connected to the road logistics or the trucks that are already in the port. So that is how the two ecosystems talk to each other. Let me give you another example. Because we do condition monitoring of the machinery, we are able to see the wear and tear of the machinery and real status. At what point of time a specific part of the machinery needs to be changed or needs to be looked into is linked to the procurement cycle, which means you don't need to procure anything just by the running hours. You can procure it based on condition, and you can have a just-in-time for that. Your vessel is headed toward London and you can actually have it delivered there, and that's where another excellent use case of a digital platform. The third one being connected ecosystem. So when the vessels give data, we have vessel to shore. Now we have established shore to vessel, which means the shore can also give a lot of commands or requests or intelligence which the vessel can utilize. So shore to vessel, vessel to shore. The third important thing is vessel to vessel, which is like aircrafts connected with each other when they're flying, or the truck logistics connected with each other. There's a tremendous benefit, and this is a real shared economy that is coming up. So we already have people working on this in Japan and Korea. Smartship as an organization, we're very sure that the data that comes in can be used by multiple sets of people and entities in the entire ecosystem, right from the ship insurers. Imagine ship insurance company gets a live update of the vessel's risk profile, depending upon how it's sailing, what kind of cargo it is in, what kind of weather, if it is going through high-risk areas or piracy areas, everything is known. And that is exactly where the data sets are getting towards. And there is something we all know about the green corridor. One port connected to the other port, which means both the ports appreciate data, they appreciate the intelligence, and when they partner with each other, a vessel flying between these ports can have much simpler life because they've already done the compliance with one port, and their all compliances can be also used by the others. And this is where the data sharing coming in. So eventually, when we are few thousand vessels connected, we foresee that the entire ecosystem is going to benefit in more ways than what we are seeing today. Yeah, thank you.
To use Smartship Hub in a very efficient way, do you need more sensors on board? Is this a retrofitting problem, or is it very easy to build on existing data sets?
Right. So one of the most important thing is when someone uses Smartship, they don't need any additional sensors. Whatever sensors the ship has, first and foremost, we tap data from there. In more often than not cases, unless the ship is very old, this is good enough to get started off with and give the performance and the intelligence and the whole kind of voyage performance and the condition monitoring. And hence, existing systems, whether the engine is from Hyundai or Mitsubishi or Sulzer or any one of it, doesn't matter. Your flow meters are from anywhere else, it doesn't matter. We are able to have all the connectivity done work on all communication protocols, whether it is proprietary Japanese communication protocols or the Korean make, or for that matter, the standard Modbus, Profibus, Profinet, MQTT, doesn't matter. The one box with our gateway software is able to communicate with all the machinery, all the equipment, all kind of communication protocol, and tap in and sweep as much of data as possible. And that becomes a start point for us. So there are no expenses involved in additional sensors there.
Okay, wow, that's very impressive, actually. Thank you, Joy, for these insights. This was a very interesting interview, and I thank you very much for taking some time to speak with me today. Have a great event.
Thank you, Hakim, once again for having me over here. It's my pleasure always to be part of this exchange.